Alright, so I'm actually going to copy this sand dunes paint, or still landscape. I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to go to Photoshop, and because I copied it, it's on the clipboard. So when I go to New, I open the clipboard, and then I paste it in there by saying Edit Paste. Okay, now I have the sand dunes painting in there. I'm going to go ahead and set the image size right. I don't want a 41-inch document. I want it only 10 inches, but I want the resolution to be 300. And say OK. Now I'm going to unlock that layer, and I'm going to go to canvas size, and I'm going to change it to inches, and then I'm going to double the height. So since it's 6.6, I'm going to make it 13.2. Say OK. Then when I zoom out a little bit so I can see the whole page, I can pull the photograph above, pull the white background below, lock each one, and having the layers window open right here is very helpful. We zoom in one more time. There we go. So now, well, maybe back out. I wish I had a bigger screen. In any case. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a new layer, and that new layer will be below the photo, okay? And I'm going to paint that sky in there. Now I don't need to really, draw anything else to do the sky. I'm just going to go ahead and paint that sky using a soft brush. Notice how it's kind of a dramatic sky with the gray and everything. So I'm going to try to get that sweeping look to it. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just grab that color. I'm going to start with the darker color of that blue, and I'm going to make a great big brush here. And I'm going to bring my opacity up for this, to the initial part of this. And to do this, you can see I just kind of brush it in really quick with the soft brush. Now I'm going to make the brush a little small, I'm going to lower the opacity, make it smaller, and I'm going to build up that kind of look to make it even less opacity. The look to the sweepiness of it. Okay, I'm going to need a little more opacity. Actually, maybe I should darken it up here a little bit too. All right, let's try that. And just kind of brushing this in here. And probably not a bad idea if I actually add another layer to do this part, because what's going to happen is I'm going to smear it, and it's just easier to smear if I had if I've got on a separate layer, because that way it won't. So I notice I made this a little darker, and I'm kind of dabbing in some colors in there. Make my brush a little smaller for those clouds in the distance there, but they're kind of dark. Add some streaks. I don't need it quite so dark over here for those streaks in the background there. Lighten that up a bit. Maybe a slightly bigger brush. Getting those streaks going. Need a little bit darker in there. And then I'm going to actually add some white. Okay. And the white, it's going to be, well, I should probably make it a lot softer. So maybe something like that. And add a little bit of white here, a little bit of white there. A bit of streaking here. I should probably make my brush smaller for that, but it'll still work. It'll still work because I'm going to actually blend it now. Okay. And then actually it's now I'll take the blend tool, I guess, the smudge tool, and I just start smudging it. And it's going to blend together the colors that I have there. And my smudge tool buffers, so I have to do it. I can't do it as big as quickly as I want it to be done. So you get the idea of how that sky would be done. And like I said, I could spend a lot more time on it. Actually, I can add some more. You know, it's buffering. It's going to buffer since the smudge tool does take a long time. I'm going to go ahead and get some of that darker color in there, just to soften it up just a little bit here. Emphasize that the darker areas with the soft, just bringing in some of that darker color out on top. All right, so there's my sky. Now let's go ahead and do on a separate layer. I'm going to lock the those two layers. I could join them if I wanted to, but not a big deal right now. I'm going to go ahead and do the mountains real quick. I take the what's called a lasso tool, and I just draw the mountains. Oops. It doesn't have to be exactly the way the mountains really are, but then I go all the way around, bring it back around, and these are the mountains in the furthest distance. And they're kind of like that color, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and just brush that in real quick here. I got to create a new layer, obviously. And I'm going to put it on top of the sky. And notice I'm just kind of brushing along there. That gives me the edge of the mountains. Now if I want to do it's a little kind of lighter blue in the middle there, slightly. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but next I'm going to go ahead and do the ocean layer. Or ocean, it's not really an ocean, is it? Whatever that is. Yeah, I guess it is an ocean. Okay, and put this on a different layer. Get that aquamarine color. Paint that in real quick. And I'm going to bring it into the white by just switching this over to white, making my brush a little smaller actually. And then there's that kind of a blue color. Really thin. The edge of that white. And then I'm get the sand color, which I could find it, or I can actually. I'm going to find it by looking in the orange area here, the sand color. And this is all, by the way, this is all just done with soft brush at fairly low opacity. Okay, so now I'm ready for the grass. That's what Elvin's been waiting for. Hit Control-D to deselect and lock these layers up because I don't want to, accidentally paint on them. So I'm going to lock them. Add another layer for our grass layer here. Now, it's not all grass. There's some like gray area in there, so let me go ahead and get that in there first. I'm going to do that kind of the same way that I did the other. So let's start in the middle here because I want it to go down. It's not really a lot of the beach showing here. It's really just a really thin layer of the beach. Okay, so now this is more of a gray color. So I'm going to get that gray color in there. Has some kind of splotchiness to it here. So when I select an area like this, it's only going to paint in that area that I select. It's not going to paint in. It's not going to. I can't paint over here. It's only going to paint in the area that I select. So keep that in mind when you do this. Alright, so I've got the ground in there. So let's try to do this grass. So let's take a look what the grass looks like. The grass in front is very, so look, the wind is blowing and it looks like it's blurry there. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if I'll try to give that effect or not. Looks like we've got light brown grass, we got medium green grass, and some dark grass. Let's start with some dark grass first. So let me back up here. And I can move this, maybe even go one, yeah, this is kind of nice. Well, no, I can't do it. I can't zoom in that. Wish I had a bigger screen to work on, but I don't. But I'm basically doing the same thing you guys are doing, as far as you've got small screens as well, so I'm not going to complain. So this will be my really small brush stroke, and like I said, I'm going to try to get a green or kind of a dark grass first. So let me go to green. What would be kind of the greenish color we're working with here, and then go to a really dark one at first, and just start. Gotta bring my opacity up. Okay, I gotta bring it on top of that. There we go. It was on the wrong layer. Alright, and I'm just kind of concentrating on that grass there in the background. You get some a lighter version of that color coming up here. Get some of that green in there. And then that really light brown kind of color. Let me try something else too. Let me take this darker version here. I'm going to try a soft brush, bigger obviously, and I'm going to just brush in. Kind of add some thickness to the grass, I guess, and in here too. Yes, you may, Jonathan. I'm going to have to finish this up because I'm getting to my 15-minute limit here with this, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Get some brighter ones in there. Bring my size down quite a bit. And we just add some of those darker colors in there real quick. I guess I should, there's probably is a brush that might give you more of a tapered look too. Where I would look for that would be if I went to brush settings and looked at one of these brushes. And what you want to do is notice how this kind of has a taper to it. See if these change at all with that brush. This might have been, it's hard to see that. So, this might have been the brush to use. I don't know. You could play with these different brushes and change the spacing. Interesting to have some of these things. It doesn't hurt to actually look at those as well. But this is my conclusion of this sand dunes. So thanks for watching.